Bukit Jalil Stadium is packed to the rafters for this AFF Suzuki Cup first leg final, which pits the Tigers or Malaysia against Merah Putih, which is Indonesia. It should be a real enthralling game. One change for the Malaysian lineup that sees Mohamed Sabri, the right back, go out. In comes Mahali Jazali. A real young squad for Malaysia. In fact, the oldest player is the number 10 who has scored 2 goals in this tournament, Mohamed Safi. He will be partnered up front by Noor Sharrell. His hard work all the way through this tournament means he keeps his place. As for Indonesia, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. No room in the starting lineup for Irfan Bakdim. He still stays on the bench. Yonki retains his position in the side, playing in the hole just behind Gonzalez to give them an added attacking threat. Well, thank you, Andy. Thanks the guys in the studio building this game up to what should be quite a fantastic occasion. Both of these sides looking to win the Southeast Asian tournament for the very first time. Shebi has gone with a prediction of Malaysia 2, Indonesia 1, and I can get who has just ran from the studio here into the commentary position, Mr. R. Sasikumar, who will be my colour commentator. I can get his prediction right now. What do you think, Sass? We've seen Indonesia blow Malaysia away in that first game of this tournament. Repeat of the same, or have Malaysia learnt a lesson?
Of course they would learn a lesson. I think Rajagopal will come here with a game plan to make sure that they have the home advantage. They know how Indonesia line up. They must have watched the game against Philippines, picked up a couple of key players. No coach is going to come into this game without a game plan. So I think Rajagopal has worked Indonesia out. But having said that, this is an Indonesian side very, very determined to win this competition for the first time. They brought on some players who made a difference. Christian Gonzalez, as we saw against Philippines, made a big, big contribution. So it'd be interesting to see how the Malaysian defenders cope with the power of Christian Gonzalez. In my opinion, I just get a feeling that Malaysia will do enough to just hold on for a draw. It'll be very interesting to see what happens in Indonesia. Don't forget the second leg coming up in 3 days' time, a game that you can catch live here on Star Sports. We're concentrating on the first fixture though, and there is Rajagopal, who has turned around the fortunes of this young side, and it's a big thumbs up. As mentioned, the oldest player, 26 years old, Mohamed Safi, and it's going to be Toma Masaki from Japan who will get us underway very, very shortly. Riddle, a man with vast experience who knows what this is all about and knows how important it is to win this competition. We've seen that stony face before. In fact, we've seen it all the way through the tournament. Yet to crack a smile, I believe, Shebi. Sassy. Thanks, Paul. But I just going back to the fact about Akhir, he's taken a couple of teams in the region, but he's not won this competition so far. And when you look at the teams that he's got this time around, he's got a group of players who are very hungry to win this competition. He's a type of coach who's no nonsense. I think he approaches the game really well, very serious, arranges his team and plans well for this competition. So it's all left to the players now. There's only so much a coach can do from the sideline. He's just left it to his players today. Well, it's up to them to try and produce the goods today, and straight away Ridwan getting on the ball inside to Firmanutin, a long ball forwards from Zulkifli. Looks strong down the flanks, and that tactical change at right back with Mahali coming in to try and keep Okto Maniani quiet. Money work for them. Good defending there though from Mohamed Nasser. Just clears his line, so Malaysia, you can hear the crowd. It's a partisan crowd behind them. There is a contingent of Indonesian fans there. The first thing the Indonesians will need to do is try and silence the crowd. Well, like any game, I think the visiting team would like to make sure that they don't make mistakes early on in the game, where they allow the crowd to get on the back of them. I'm sure Indonesia will like to keep the ball on the ground, pass it around. The way Malaysia are playing, very, very determined to keep the ball. Well, Indonesia looking to get stuck in straight away. Messing around at all. Zulkifli flipped up the line. Given away though. Azharuddin is there, wins the throw. Azharuddin has had a really good tournament and been very influential for this Malaysian side, the left back, and will want to make amends after scoring an own goal in the opening game. Of course, Malaysia going down by 5 goals to 1. And as you can see, it's the white shirts that are
falling all over the middle of the park, but putting the challenge in. Amro Hadi chasing and trying to make things happen, and that's a strong challenge from Mahari. So again, maybe paying dividends for the Malaysians, bringing in this type of player just to quell that threat down the left-hand side.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the only change Rajagopal has done. He's dropped Sabri purely because I think he fears the pace of Octo. Play a bit more, player with a bit more strength and a bit more concentration, perhaps.
Well, Octo, we've seen him there as well. He's just gone over the top on someone. Saw him against the Philippines, where he was very, very naughty with Del Rosario going in there and nearly breaking the poor lad's leg and elbowing him to boot after the ball had gone. So if he couldn't make anything happen, so Indonesia going to try and make inroads here. It's a little bit too tight an area to start playing there. Here's Kuna, again, as impressed after that first game. There were a few changes to the Malaysian side, and there's a couple of them that are keeping their place now. The run forwards and the ball forwards not good enough. Michel and Mohamed Safi up front are going to have to work extremely hard to get anything out of Maman and Hamka at the back. Malaysian pairing looking very strong, but they are looking to break down the right-hand side. Amro Hadi skips inside one. Looks just to slow it down. Forwards from him, and questions being asked of Hamka straight away. Picked up in the middle. That's a nice little ball though from Firmino Tina. Gonzalez is just half a yard in front of him.
Well, that was bright from Indonesia. It was unfortunate that Christian Gonzalez couldn't control the ball. And if you're just watching, there's lasers being pointed out at the players, as we saw here.
Not very good, is it, Sass?
No, not at all. I think we saw that during the national anthem. This can really be hazardous for the players.
Yeah, blinding when you're looking up and you're looking to try and receive a ball. If one of those catches your eye, of course, not condoning that at all. Of course, banned from FIFA games as much as possible, but you will have the odd person, shall we say, who shouldn't really be doing that, making sure that that happens as Mohamed Safi goes and closes down. Zulkifli, the man who's caught. It's a bright start, really, from both sides. No real opportunities of yet, but showing the intent to put their foot in and make sure that they've got a chance to victory and the trophy.
Well, Malaysia have to be aggressive at home. After all, they've got the crowd behind them. It won't be the same story when they move to Indonesia.
Well, there he is. He swung an elbow again here, and he has got previous as Maniani Octo. As mentioned, there was that incident against Del Rosario against the Philippines. There it goes, bang, right to the side of the head there of Mahali.
Well, he's got to be careful because he can be such a liability for Indonesia, and I think he's been booked by the Japanese referee here.
That's a very, very good decision from the officials.
Well, having said that, he's only 5 foot nothing, and he still manages to jump and catch the player on the face.
Well, the smallest player on the pitch, Sassi, at 5'4". 2 children, 20 years old, a real talent. That's for sure. Very much a family man who likes to spend time with his kids, and at such a young age as well, which is unusual. As Gonzalez battling and fighting away in the middle of the park. Just can't skip past Safik, who does a very good job to intercept there, but Malaysia now having to defend yet again. Zulkifli with the ball forwards. Yonki just losing out there, puts a strong challenge in on Amro Hadi. So rolling the ball back. He doesn't want to get involved if he's just been booked. And I think the referee, Hama Masaki, will have a few words here saying, just calm yourself down, because if Indonesia were to lose him, that would be one of the biggest threats of the team gone.
But I'm sure Rajagopal, the coach from Malaysia, would have told his players, wherever, yeah, exactly, wherever you can, just get at him, because he's a bit of a loose cannon. Can usually or easily lose his concentration. Octo Maniani.
Good ball from Kuna just down the line, picked up by Noor Sharrell. Can he get a cross in? Is the support there? Tries to skip past the 2 challenges. That's a corner. did ever so well there. Was fronted up. And just jinking past the challenge of Mohamed Ridwan to win the corner.
That's wonderful footwork by Nosharu. He had two players there. He needed to get past them. And very cleverly does his footwork to at least win a corner for Malaysia now.
Well, officially, this stadium can hold 100,000. There are a couple of spaces there, so it does look as though there's about 85,000 people crammed into the Bukit Jalil. And we've got a problem here with the lasers. And yeah, the officials have seen that. That's brilliant refereeing from the Japanese official, Tonka Masaki, turning around and saying, look, this isn't on, can you make an announcement? That's really, really good officiating.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he saw that. I think we picked it up early on in the game. But all he needs is one of the players. There you go.
Well, he's stopping play. He's going to stop playing until this. And there you can see, see it. It's on his face. The little green dots, and it's all over the place. So announcement will be made by the. Well, it'll have to be the officials from the Malaysian football team to the fans, asking them not to do it, because if they carry on, the referee has every right to bring the players off.
Yeah, exactly. I think the referee has the right to abandon the game if this goes on.
Well, we shall soon see. Taken short. Nasaruddin with the ball in. Closed down, though, by the skipper, Firmanutina. Safi picks it up quickly, looks to get something going. Nice little movement there from the Malaysians, but unfortunately, possession kept. Firmanutina again, looking to set the Indonesians on the way. So making a run forwards. Nasua just slowing things down. It's a tight position, but he's done ever so well, Nasua. Forwards, and that's a great ball through. The flag's just gone up. It looked like it was Gonzalez. No, in fact, it was Yonki that was making that burst through the middle. They do like to play on the shoulder. Just, Sassi? Just.
Yeah, just as well. Yonki just saw the space in front of him and tried to attack it. There was some sort of a contact by the Malaysian defender. Fortunately, I think Yonki was called offside even before the foul was committed.
Yonki's the man who's been linked with a move to Wellington and also to Melbourne Victory. And a player that's looking to apply their trade overseas. That being said, though, the Indonesian league is going from strength to strength with the number of foreign players that are coming in and the crowds that come. It is one of the, well, if not the best competitive league now throughout Southeast Asia. Well, that one's up for debate, Sassi.
Yeah, absolutely. But I must say that in terms of fan support and the money that's involved in the game, of course, Indonesia must be up there with the best. But officiating and professionalism, let's put it that way, still lacking from the game in Indonesia, if I'm being completely honest.
It will come with time. Good work by Indonesia on this occasion. Well tracked back, though. Amar put in the challenge in just as well he did. Looped up high in the air, but strong header there from Mohamed Muslim, and again another offside decision. We saw that all the way throughout this tournament. We've seen Gonzalez doing it time and time again, playing just on the shoulder and trying to nip in behind.
Why not, I say, because there'll be one instance where the linesman doesn't call for an offside and it's game on and you're going straight at goal, so strikers love to do that.
Easy pickings at the back there for Malaysia. Again, the ball a little bit like a hot potato at the moment. Nobody wants it. There's confirmation that Okto Maniani did pick up that yellow card, but Malaysia on the burst here. And Mohadi playing it inside. I just couldn't get there. It looked as though there was a little bit more intent from Zulkifli to win that ball. And that's a poor ball from Asaruddin. Does well, though, to win that one back. Just chops it into the path of Safi. Safik out wide. Is it overcooked? No, Kuna's done well to keep that in. Kuna puts it into the box. Headed away, though. And no problems there. Safi tries to clip one to the far post. But again blocked down. Here's Okto. And who received that yellow card. That's good play. Firmanutina taking the reins. Nasua just looks to clip one in the channel. Go on the burst. Strong, solid defending there, though, from Mohamed Muslim. The man who had a chance to move to Slovakia. Not happy there with Okto. Made a pre-season tournament there, and FC Vion Slate showed a lot of interest in him, but they didn't follow it through, as we see the lasers hit Okto on this occasion.
Well, that was wonderful defending by Muslim. He knew that Okto had the pace on him, and of course, footwork, stayed very focused. And as we know, Malaysia has got a squad in Slovakia as well. They play in the league. Harimau Muda B.
This is a very, very young side, this Malaysian outfit. Strong challenge there. Yongki thought he was fouled, but foul not given. And here he is again in possession of the ball. Well, it's fallen kindly and very, very nicely, but just not right for Ahmad Bustami. How much he likes to get involved and get forwards. And another unsung hero of this Indonesian side, the man that does all the donkey work for Firman Utina.
I must say that's a very good combination, Ahmad Bustami and Firman Utina. Firman likes to go forward, likes a bit more time on the ball, where Bustami likes to sit in front of the defense and clear it out.
Like ball whipped into the far post again. Strong, solid defending. Mohamed Muslim flicking that one to safety. It's better from Indonesia. We've seen them on occasion play very well with getting the crosses in. Also seen them play poorly when they're played very narrow. Haven't really caused the problems. Here's Kuna. Just trying to thread it through the eye of a needle, but that's well done from Mohamed Safi to keep possession. It's gone out wide now. Amrul Hadi just can't keep that in play. Well, the 24-year-old who made his debut against Bahrain in a World Cup qualifier, recalled into the squad by that man, Rajagopal. Really has been a lot more competitive, the league in Malaysia, over the last 12 months, and the introduction again of foreign players coming very, very soon. That's only going to add and enhance this national team, because the players playing against them with better players, surely it's a benefit, Sassi.
Well, it's only a benefit if they bring quality players. In the past, I think Malaysia have been guilty of bringing mediocre players and paying them a lot of money.
As in a lot of countries throughout Southeast Asia.
Exactly. The problem is the scouting is the problem. They need to spend more time and money in scouting so that they can bring on better foreign players who can actually enhance the league.
Offside again. Khairul Fahmi, no problems for him claiming that one. The man that was given his chance after that opening 5-1 loss, been put in the side and hasn't looked back since. Gonzalez looked as though he'd moved into an offside position, a very, very close one to call. Of course, Khairul Fahmi, the best young goalkeeper 2010 season, has had a wonder season for Kelantan, the cup winners. He really has staked his claim now to be the national #1 for the next, well, it could be 2 decades, because you know how long keepers can go for.
He's done a wonderful job for Malaysia. Safe pair of hands and
three clean sheets as well.
Exactly, and also that he communicates well with his backline.
Foul again, Noor Sherrill, who works the channels very, very well with his partner Mohamed Safi. They do work as a pairing. It's caught there by Mohamed Nasser. Foul given. It was Maman who come out from the central half position and committed the foul. So another opportunity here for Malaysia. Just 15 minutes gone. Still 0-0 in this Suzuki Cup final, first leg. And we have quality delivered into the box. That's what Mohamed Safi will be hoping for. The bobbles and bounces around, and a long-range shot gets ballooned over the top, and you can hear there the disappointment from the fans. And of course, Amar Roidan, who plays his football for Perlis, the 23-year-old knows he's got to do a little bit better than that.
Yeah, much better than that he needs to be, because he had all the time in the world to line this one up. Have a look, no one really closing him down, and his body position wasn't right. Just as he made some sort of a contact, he leaned backwards, and I always thought in the soccer school, I'm going to shoot from distance, make sure your body's leaning forward, not backwards.
Gonzalez gets called for handball. Hands on the hips, can't quite believe it. The man who has a little bit of a temper. Naturalised on the 3rd of November, just in time for this tournament, and an impressive record to boot now. 6 goals in 7 caps going into this game. Of course, that's a shadow of a comparison when you consider that his all-time record down in Indonesia is 204 goals in 195 games, which is quite phenomenal.
Yeah, plays his football for Persib Bandung.
What's a great ball played forwards. Akhir Hadi has options here. Kuna's at the far post, couldn't pick him out. Akhir Hadi, the wrong decision from him. Does well to retain possession. So this attack not dead yet. Mahali just couldn't thread it down the line, but a gilt-edged chance there to deliver quality into the box. Not done. Here's Safin, pulls it back. Nice little turn from Mohamed Safin, just couldn't let it roll across his body. So Indonesia look to break forwards quickly. Okto.
Well, Malaysia have to be mindful when they get into that sort of a situation. The last pass or the delivery needs to be really good, because they've got players who can put the ball away. Hadi there, the guilty party of not really delivering quality into the box. He had options. Kuna was one like he picked out earlier.
And they're making runs down the left. Kuna and Nasruddin looking to try and link up together. Kuna steps inside onto the right foot. Kuna with his shot straight down the throat of Marcus Harrison. That'll give him a little bit of confidence, because we do know that he can be a little bit jittery, but that's good work from the 24-year-old. Played a lot of games for the under-23s, did Kuna, and has now got his big chance on the big stage. And that's not a bad effort to be fair.
I'll tell you what, this is one of those players who really caught my eye. Kuna done well to get past 2 players and takes a shot. He takes a deflection of one of the Indonesian players that could have ended up anywhere. Unfortunately for Indonesia, went into the arms of Marcus Horizon, who on occasions can be very erratic, as we saw against Philippines.
So I've seen him in the past and in past editions of this competition. Not the safest pair of hands, shall we say. Norshell trying to keep possession. Well, that's a strong challenge. Went for the ball, why allowed to continue, because the referee, Masaki, was right on the spot, and Okto now can break forwards. Mahali trying to square him up. Nice little ball into Yonki. For Manotina. Almost gilt-edged pass out wide to Mohamed Ridwan. Nasruddin defending well. And Mohamed Fadli, those two linking up together again like they did at the Bukit Jalil School, which is of course the national school of football there in Malaysia. Those two having played together on many occasions. Kifley. Just a little throw down the line. He did well to get the ball in there. Mohamed Ridwan tried to fire that across goal. And desperate defending there in the end. Amar it was with the challenge, and it was an important one from the 23-year-old.
That was a timely challenge as well. Amar just coming across to clean it up. Mohamed Ridwan looked as though he was going to pull the trigger.
Contingent behind the goal, as you can see, going absolutely ballistic because they've won a corner. And are we going to see quality from Firman Utina? He's tried to bend that into goal. There's no question about that. You could see the way that he struck that. He was asking a question there of Khairul Fahmi.
I tell you what, that was very cheeky by Firman Utina.
That's some strike to do that from that sort of distance. He's going to have another go now as the lasers hit his cheek. And he's tried to do exactly the same again, but this time gets it wrong. That's frustrating, particularly for the defenders that come up from the back. Sassi, I know that you'll testify to that.
Yeah,
but one launched up and go and attack that ball.
Absolutely, but my question is, could that laser could have affected him?
It's something that needs to be looked at. Again, stopping short of checking every single person and every single thing. You do have to have these security checks outside the ground. It's very difficult to contain, so hopefully the officials can see where that's coming from and go and retrieve those objects. A little off the ball there. There's a strong challenge, comes in yet again. Nonsense here. There's 21.5 minutes gone, so we're almost halfway through this first half. That looked like a foul throw, but play allowed to continue from Mahali. It has been, well, not the game with the most chances, but it's been very, very well fought between both sides.
But you really would expect that both teams won't want to give anything away, especially in the early stages of this game. Maybe perhaps as the game goes on, Indonesia might get a bit more adventurous going forward, but Malaysia really need to take advantage of being at home.
Mahali just flicking it wide. Norsharo with a cross to the far post, and Harrison comes yet again and shows that his confidence is on the up. But that's an awful mistake, and a real opportunity there for Safik to make it one. Well, dear, oh dear, oh dear. Great goalkeeping from Harrison. He just bowled the ball out to the defender, who completely gave it away. But you have to say that is the best opportunity that anyone's ever going to get to score a goal. He sees the skipper Safik, who picks this up, tries to pick his spot, just overcooks it though.
I'll tell you what, that was probably the opportunity so far.
Ridwan who's given the ball away.
Yeah, and the skipper reading the move there, should have done much better, at least put it on target. Maybe looking back at that opportunity at halftime and thinking, I should have done better.
What a chance that was. So the pressure starting to get to the Indonesians. Here is the guilty culprit, Ridwan, playing it out wide. Yongki skips one back in, but there's no one there. Here's the guilty man for not at least hitting the target. Safik, nice ball, threaded through and threaded forwards there. Malaysia now on the burst, and it is Norsharo. Just tried to do a little bit too much.
Well, that's a strange one, because Norsharo had options on the left with Kuna. Didn't pick him out. Decided to run at it himself.
It's a nice little bit of work there from Mahali. Hooks one in with his left foot. Big strong header though from Maman. As far as Yongki, but again, the donkey work, as it were. Amar putting the challenge in and winning that ball. This isn't a bad pairing either. Amar and Safik working well there. Spread out wide from Safik to Kuna. Kuna on the right foot this time. It's a great ball in. Harrison with a good decision there to punch. But the danger's not cleared yet. And Indonesia, rather than take any chances, just launch it clear.
This is not a bad tactic by Malaysia, to invite Marcus Harrison to come out and pluck those passes, because we know he will drop them on occasions.
He will throw one in for sure, as in make a mistake. He's prone to a rick here and there.
So Raja Gopal, I'm sure he would have told his charges.
They're coming at them. Here's Mohamed Safi. Just wanted a little bit too much time on the ball. It was Ahmad Bustami that was putting the challenge in, and now a real chance for the counter-attack. But just overcooked there for Hani Okto. We had a little spell there of 3 or 4 minutes where it's been fever pitch.
Well, slowly we're seeing a couple of players give away the ball in some dangerous areas.
The referee, unlike the referee, who managed to keep possession for Malaysia there. There's that long ball again, looking for the pace of Okto. Looks as though he could be in here. Does well with the challenge. Has he won the corner? Yes, he has, and he's trying to cheer up the Indonesian crowd behind the goal. And it was Mohamed Muslim that came across there that had to put that challenge in. It was an important one as well. 2 white shirts in the box at the moment, so you feel that they'll wait for Firmanutina to jog all the way across there to whip this ball into the danger zone. Hamka will be up from the back. Maman will. They've got the height with Gonzalez. And a few bottles rain down, and the lasers go again. Firmanutina to the near post. He trying to flip that one on, but couldn't. With a layoff, that's poor from Okto, but a good batting, shall we say, and miscontrol there from Ahmad Bustami.
Well, comedy of errors there. One after the other. Indonesia from an attacking position give away possession, and Malaysia are looking to capitalize now right now with Kuna, who's got a bit of space in front of him. Unfortunately, no one really coming across to support him.
decides to try and skip and chip past the two players, and back there with the challenge was Mohamed Ridwan. Waits for the contact and goes to ground. It really is important that Malaysia do try to get
Malaysia have only got themselves to blame because they lost the ball in midfield like they did in the first game of this competition, and this time around Ahmad Bustomi couldn't find the back of the net because Indonesia had a glorious opportunity to take a lead here. But Malaysia got to be very, very careful, especially in the middle of the park, not to give the ball away, because once they try a diagonal pass, when he gets cut out, he's straight towards goal.
Also, it means that you've got more bodies attacking you, so it's better to be over-hit like that than under-hit, because players are then out of the game. We just saw there Raja Gopal up on his feet and right at the edge of his technical area, having a little go at a couple of the players, and quite rightly so. The youngsters turn to shine, because it's quite amazing that there's a 21-year-old and a 19-year-old, or there's two 21-year-olds and a 19-year-old in this back four from Malaysia. So really inexperienced. Do you consider that the oldest player at fullback is Asaruddin, who's 22? And he is leaving it for Mohamed Fadli, who had given away yet again. So it means a chance for Zulkifli, closed down very quickly. And that's where Kuna is so important. He tracks back, puts that challenge in again. But the pace and the tempo of this game really has been sustained. Another good challenge there from Kuna. Just drops it into the feet of Mohamed Safi, who turns and looks to... It's on the burst. 2 goals against Vietnam. Here he goes. He's rolled one into the danger area, but unfortunately his strike partner, Nusharo, just not quick enough to get up there. That's good play, though, from Malaysia. Again, counter-attacking very, very quickly.
Because I think they got the space and the pace on Indonesia. What they really need to do is to make sure that they get a bit more support going forward. Shafi and now Sharul just seem to be a bit more isolated in the last 10 minutes, trying to work something out on their own, especially when Kuna has this possession of the ball. A lot of action coming down the left flank for Malaysia. Just trying to take advantage of the weak left back for Indonesia.
Marshall with a give and go, and that's poked just a little bit too far for Anwar Hadi. Good intent, though, good ideas from the Malaysians, and he knows it was just overcooked and possibly should have just done it a little bit earlier. Closed down very quickly, but Hadi looked as though he had a lot of space there on that right-hand side, because you don't think for 1 minute that Okto's going to trap back every time.
Well, that's been the problem. That's the reason why Malaysia always seem to attack from the left. They don't have an outlet on the right, and if Anwar Hadi can keep the width, then they really can stretch this Indonesian defense. Perhaps gaps that will then open up for Malaysia.
It really is a magnificent setting, the Bukit Jalil Stadium. Here comes Anwar Hadi again. Just waits for support. Ahali just inside to Safik, who switches playing again. Seen a lot of the ball is Kuna. Straight down the line. Shuttle again working those channels extremely well. Ball's gone out of play. It's going to be a goal kick. That's one thing that these two strikers do. They do it well, and they do it as a pair. Sassi, Shuttle and Mohamed Safi, they do work incredibly hard together, and making those runs into the channels to receive the ball.
They do that, but the problem is play too far apart. When one of the strikers has the ball down the channel, another player must come in and support him, or at least one of the midfielders, the wide midfielders, have to come back and support them. But every time they get the ball up front, they seem to be isolated. But as a pairing, they're quite incredible to watch.
It's almost 32 minutes gone in this first half. Malaysia 0, Indonesia 0. Searching ball, looking for Mohamed Ridwan, who, well, got caught there. Azaruddin, strong in the challenge. Was the arm raised? The linesman's got his flag down, and the referee's just having a quiet word there. Did he just turn in? And, well, we don't like to see that from Zulkifli. Keep your hands down. Gestating for a yellow card. Both had high feet, and wow, it is the foot that catches him in the face. You can see the Indonesian bench there up in arms, and there has been a yellow card shown because the referee, Mr. Toma Masaki, has just taken Azaruddin's number. And the second yellow card of this encounter goes to a Malaysian. Both of them had their feet up though, but it's a dangerous position, and we know that this man delivers quality. Firmanutina waiting for the runs. Firmanutina drills it to the far post. What an important header that was from Mohamed Fadli, and then a long-range shot that is just got Sasi Kumar shaking his head next to me because that was woeful. Again, it's that man Ahmad Bustami.
Well, you know, every time a player gets the ball out of there and goes for the shot, you can almost put your house on it that it's going to just end up in rosette. What they really need to do is, when they don't have the technique, bring the ball down, play it onto the flank, and then try and get another attack going. Players need to use their intelligence a bit more, because from situations like that, it's very easy and very tempted. You get tempted to put a shot on, but when you don't have the technique, you shouldn't really be attempting them.
Yonki keeps possession. Here it is, Bustami again. This time electing to do what you said and keep possession. Sasi, here's Okto. Okto looks for the little give and go. Here's Yonki on the turn. Not a bad effort. Created that yard for himself with a little twist and turn. And the 21-year-old actually made his debut in November against Uruguay, showing that he's got something about him. We were impressed with him, weren't we, in the second leg of the semi-finals?
Yes, there was more on the fact that he had pace to burn. But this probably, well, 34 minutes of play, that's the first shot he has had on goal. And his strike partner, Christian Gonzalez, has been merely a passenger for the good part of the game. So, yeah, exactly. Time, so at half-time, it'll be interesting to see what Alfred Riedel does, because he's got two quality players, quality strikers on the bench as well. Irfan Baktim and Bambang Pamungkas. And Bambang knowing Malaysia really, really well. So could be an option to bring him on.
It was only 2-1 at half-time in the opening game of this competition. Nasaruddin scored an own goal, and Gonzalez scored after 33 minutes. Nur Sharul had given Malaysia an early lead after 18 minutes, so it is a tight and cagey affair. Nice long ball in for Mohamed Ridwan. He can't bring that down. Good defending again there from Asaruddin, getting his body in the way and making it difficult for Mohamed Ridwan.
I mean, they are youngsters, the Malaysian backline, but to be fair, we've seen some good defending from them.
Finally, we get a little lull where the ball is being passed around at the back for Malaysia. The offside counts. Indonesia 2-0 up on that front. Not that that matters much. The most important one is the one at the top of your screen, which says 0-0. Strong challenge coming in, and Raja Gopal down on the bench, asking for the free kick, and then having a go at the defenders for not knocking it into the hole for Mohamed Safi to chase. So Indonesia will have the throw. Really did cruise through the group. 5-1 against Malaysia, 6-0 against Laos, 2-1 against Thailand. The whole turning point of this competition was when Malaysia drew with Thailand 0-0. That was basically what saw them through to the finals.
an unbelievable result, it has to be said. 2 unbelievable results against Vietnam. No one would have thought that the reigning champions would have lost here at the Bukit Jalil Stadium by 2 goals to 0. And then to get a draw over there at the IDN Stadium, 0-0. They were under the cosh at times, but they defended extremely well to give them the opportunity for the first time to win this competition since 1996. It was in Singapore, and lost in the final there. It's a real chance for them to make some history for themselves. Got to deal with Octo first, though. Octo. It's a little bit audacious, and I mean, I know he's quick, but that was just a little bit too far. Good defending from Mohamed Muslim.
When we talk about Octo, he's 20 years old, very inexperienced. I think that's the reason why Alfred Riedel is up on his feet. If he's going to get past players, he needs a bit of space. From that position, he'd be better off trying to play a wall pass with one of the strikers.
Just on me with a lovely ball forwards for Octo, but again, just skipping off the surface and a little nudge to boot. Just look as though Rajagopal has got his tactics spot on by bringing in Mahali bin Jesuli. Only called up into the national squad late as well in November. The 21-year-old is sitting there at right back and doing his job extremely well, because there's not much coming down the left-hand side for Indonesia. Malaysia are really containing them.
They are. He's a very strong defender, very composed as well. Mahali Shuli in place of Sabri, who did start that game against Philippines.
As Safi just looks to keep possession, launched forwards by Mohamed Fadli. Again, a little bit too far, but I don't think Rajagopal will mind that too much. And you can see that Harrison's not that bothered either, because they would like this to be 0-0. That's a very, very dangerous game to play, though, with away goals counting now in this competition.
Exactly. I mean,
want to try and nick one, wouldn't you?
Exactly. I mean, playing for a draw, that would be a disaster, that's for sure.
There's a strong challenge coming in right in the middle of the park. That's a poor ball. We've seen a couple of defenders give suicidal passes here. Yonki has to keep it. Zulkifli. Manutina looks for Octo at the far post. Octo should have hit it first time. Gonzalez is furious in the middle, but Octo's chased down. Now Indonesia applying pressure, just half clear from Asaduddin. Well, a real chance there for Octo just to come onto that striking goal back. Surely, Sass, real chance.
Agree with you. That's an opportunity, golden opportunity as well. But again, poor decision making by Octo. And that's the reason why we saw Christian Gonzalez absolutely livid with him as well. Having said that, as soon as Malaysia won the ball, Amirul Hadi just took his time on it.
There is the Pahang royal family, the Sultan of Pahang and Tunku Mahkota, the royal prince. Possession being kept by Malaysia yet again. Strong challenges coming in. This play just been slowed down yet again. This is okay from Malaysia. They'll want to just take the foot off the gas and just consolidate. Can they hit the lightning pace that they did in the first game? Shuttle shocked everyone by scoring. He's had a penalty. They looked as though there was a little bit of contact. My man was the guilty party. Noor Shuttle jumped straight to his feet, so good decision there.
It was an interesting move. Ball just played again into the channel. Noor Shuttle trying to bring the ball down. Unfortunately, run out of space there. Slightest of contact and went down, but the referee wasn't buying any of that. He either.
Gonzalez with the little flick on. How many times have we mentioned his name in this first half? Really yet to do anything in this game, it has to be said, as a real strong challenge comes in again, this time from Amro Hadi. Safi keeps possession. Malaysia look to come out down the left-hand side. Sarudin just toe punts that forwards, really, and nearly causes a problem, because Mohamed Safi was putting himself about up there. And you could see there what you were saying, Sass, about Noor Shadal being just a little bit too far away from his strike partner, Mohamed Safi there. Hadi out wide to Noor Shadal, losing possession. Safi losing out, and here comes Nasser, Mohamed Nasser. Though making a darting run across the defenders, but checks his run back. Mohamed Ridwan brings this one down. Little clip inside. Yonki with a little layoff. Firmanutina to the far post. The flag's going to go up there. No, it doesn't. As though it's straight into an offside position. Safi, nice ball forwards into Noor Shadal. Noor Shadal out wide. Amro Hadi dinked into the far post, but again Harrison showing good hands. Takes it a little bit low, but nonetheless was confident enough to take that.
Much better from Malaysia, good passage of play, but unfortunately again the final pass a little bit disappointing. They need to test the goalkeeper, not just hang it up that there. I mean, we know Marcus Harrison can drop a few, but that's asking a little bit too much of that.
This ball into the channel, and never willing to make those runs is Yonki. But again, good, solid defending. The 19-year-old really has come on leaps and bounds throughout this tournament. Mohamed Fadli really strong there and using his upper body strength. 5'11.5", so a big frame there. That's something to work with, that is, isn't it, Sass?
Yeah, absolutely. That's tactical defending. Get your body in between the player and the ball. He's done really, really well so far. In fact, both the defenders, Fadli and Muslim, given a very good account of himself, and that's the reason why Christian Gonzalez is a bit quiet.
Is Kuna getting to the byline, checks back, but should have delivered. And we do know that he prefers his right foot, keeps checking back onto it, but surely when he gets to that byline and he's got the opportunity to deliver with the left, he has to pull the trigger and whip it across goal.
Well, that was very clever. Didn't realize there was a covering defender, otherwise he has all the time in the world to pick out a blue shirt.
Short, Nasruddin bends one in, a dangerous ball, headed clear again. Oh, I'm not happy at all there is the skipper, Safi. He's only 5'5.5", is Mohamed Safi, but can deliver quality, but elected to go short on that occasion. It is again. And again, the lasers. Marcus Harrison not happy at all, but he's being targeted by the laser guns, or the laser pens as they are now. Are quite dangerous and used, of course, for business, and now being used by the fans. Sarudin heads one back in and trying the spectacular there, which didn't come off because the whistle has gone. There's Mohamed Safi. We know that he likes his spectacular goals, the overhead kicks, the fancy flicks. He can do that. And Hadi just making his way back. We're into stoppage time. Looks like that's a yellow card for Amro Hadi. I think we'll have much time added on here at the end of the first half. Only that little incident where we stopped 2 or 3 minutes from the first corner to do with the lasers. We haven't had a trainer on the pitch yet. There it is. Considered and deemed as dangerous play. It was Amro Hadi.
I'm not quite sure what he was thinking there. With a sea of bodies in front of him or behind him as well. He's going for the spectacular.
If that's a yellow card, I mean, that's crazy, because the defender's put his head there. That means Zulkifli has to defend it. It's part and parcel of the game. So we'll bring you confirmation if that is a yellow card. But we did see referee Toma Masaki with a book in his hand. That normally means that he's making a note of somebody's name.
Well, interesting to see that Amirul Hadi and Kunalan have just switched flanks, and the more natural positions for both players. Perhaps Kuna can run at players, prefers his right foot, so this could really pay dividends for Malaysia now.
Here is Noor Sharul. There is confirmation of the yellow card. A little bit scrappy here. Good work and well won back as Indonesia look to break through now, and that could have been a killer pass from Firmanutina. Okto picks it up. They're going to have time for one more burst towards goal. Oh, that's a shocking challenge there. Well, that should be a yellow card because Okto looked to inject a little bit of pace, and it was very, very strong, it has to be said, that challenge.
Yeah, to be fair, I think Amar just came in as though he was going to kick the ball, and Okto, as you can see, just lost control of the ball. To be fair, I don't think so Amar went out to tackle Okto.
Unlike Del Rosario, which we saw in the last game where the pair of them were at it. Of course, that does happen, so of course 30 seconds extra at the end of this hard long-range shot. It's never really going to test the goalkeeper, Khairul Fahmy, and that will bring the first half to a close. Handshakes all round. Fair for you, Sas?
Yeah, I think so. Both teams came out here with a game plan not to give too much away. Malaysia, for me, the much brighter side. But Indonesia, let's not discount them because they got some couple of quality players on the park and off the park as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they line up in the second 45 minutes.
Will we see those changes in the second half? Will we see Bambang Pamungkas come on? Can he change the whole complexion of this game? Also, Irfan Bakdim. As it is, Malaysia are the ones that have asked the questions. Indonesia need to come out fighting in the second half. We've got half-time reaction with the guys in the studio and Andy Penders after these short messages.
Live pictures from the Bukit Jalil Stadium as we get back to your match commentator, Paul Maxfield.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Chevy. Sassi has made the quick dash back to get into the commentary position with me, so we'll get his thoughts and comments in a minute because it's Indonesia with Okto playing it just wide to Nasser, who gets his cross in, and it's a woeful cross. Indonesia looking as though they're coming out with real intent there after just 20 seconds. We've had one change as well. Hadi has gone off. Mohamed Ashari has come on. That change being made for Malaysia. Is that a surprise for you, Sassi?
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise because I thought Amirul Hadi did well enough to at least support his fellow defender. Mohali just really in terms of keeping Okto quiet, but obviously Rajagopal has seen something. Maybe just wanted to inject a bit of pace, perhaps. I'm not quite sure. Fresh legs.
Well, the battle carrying on in the middle of the park. Picked up, though, and breaking forwards again is Firmanutina. Dinks one into the box, looking for the header, Gonzalez. Picked up, though, by Amar. Just helped straight up into the air, though. Malaysia looking to now compose themselves and get themselves back onto the track that saw them dominate really the first half with the better opportunities, more goal scoring chances, but again, as is the norm, you have to convert those. Kunat now fixed firmly on the right hand side, so that's a tactical switch that's been made by Rajagopal Sassi. We mentioned it just before half time and they're going to carry that on.
Yeah, Amirul Hadi, not really a natural left footer, prefers to play on the right, but since Kuna has taken the role of a right midfielder, right winger sort of a position, I think he's just forced to bring on Ashari, Muhammad Ashari, that is.
Well, the 25-year-old does bring a little bit of experience, more as a striker, but he's a midfield player for Terengganu. That little bit more experience that could help this side push through and claim a very important victory, but it's at the other end and the flag's gone up. Gonzalez, the sniffer, yet again pouncing on that ball that was played in behind the Malaysian defence. That's where they looked a little bit soft, Malaysia, in that very opening game of this competition, where the Indonesians put 5 past them. This will be a very close decision. He is offside, though.
Yeah, but you can never take your eye off Christian Gonzalez. Well, we spoke about how quiet he's been in the first 45 minutes. That's his predatory instinct.
Well, that is a wake-up call and a warning for Malaysia. Just 3 minutes into this second half, and not dealing with that was Mohamed Muslim. A little bit too close to Gonzalez, but he stepped up in the nick of time. Here's Octo. Wants too much time on the ball. Octo again. What a lunge and what a challenge that was. It's broken to the edge of the box. Drilled goal bound, but well held by Rofani. So a real start here in this second period. Indonesia look as though they've had the hairdryer treatment, because they've come out and it looks as though they want to play.
Yeah, I'm sure Alfredo would have said to a few players that they've got the next 10 minutes to prove something. Otherwise, you'll bring in the players who can come on and make the difference. After all, they got personnel on the bench.
And here's a Shadi on the far side trying to make inroads. Nice ball threaded forwards, and possession kept again by Mohamed Ridwan. For Manatina, tries the switch. Usually dealt with though by Mahali. Guna threads that one through. Nice little touch there from Nur Shadul, but again just overzealous there. First touch was fine, just didn't get his body just enough in the way of the defender. Ends up committing the foul.
He really controlled the ball well. I mean, he did well enough to get past the first defender, but just trying to take on Maman, I think it was, or
no, Hamza Hamko it was. It was only the 2 arms though, Sassi, just the push.
Yes, it was.
Quite a clear free kick in the end, conceded. Malaysia now look to step things back up. That's a poor touch from Ashari. From Manatina, keeps one up the line, and again just skips out of play. So 5 minutes gone already this second half, and it seems to have just flown by.
Oh, there was Christian Gonzalez dropping very deep into his own half, trying to create something. Didn't see a lot of the ball in the first half.
We've seen that a lot throughout this competition. Gonzalez does drop deep when the beginning of the second half comes. That's a nice little flick on from Yonki, looking for Gonzalez. Coming together there, play allowed to continue from the Japanese official, Mr. Masaki, because bearing down on goal is Mohamed Safi. Tries to play it inside, is Kuna. Out wide to Mohamed Safi. Malaysia still with the ball. Flipped in, dangerous to the near post. Good, solid defending. Nur Shadul have made that run in front of the defender and just couldn't guide it goal bound. Marcus Harrison not happy. He thinks that it's a goal kick, and there's a real buzz about Malaysia here now.
Slowly but surely, the gaps are really appearing. As you can see, a wonderful ball played into the front post area. Nur Shadul really attacking it.
Still Malaysia, the danger's not clear. That's an awful header back across. Can they make it count? They've got bodies in the box, and that's awful. That's really poor from Ashari. Who has that experience, one of the older players at 24. Now that sounds really bizarre, but only got 9 caps, but has scored a couple of goals for the national team.
Well, I can see what you're saying. In a young squad, you got to play that age. Of course, probably considered the most experienced. Really supposed to come on and add a bit of experience, a bit of calm. But on that instance there, really picked the wrong choice in terms of trying to run the player from the outside when he had more options on the inside.
Well, there was about 6 blue shirts in the box there, all waiting for that quality delivery into the box. It didn't come. That's a good challenge there from Amar, beating Gonzalez in the air. Ridwan couldn't get hold of that. This time Ashari flips it to Kuna on the near side. Kuna opens up his body, checks back inside. Now looks to go on the outside, draws the foul. He drew that foul, there's no question about that. But it was Octo, and Octo's in a little bit of trouble here.
Well, he's got to be careful because that's wonderful run by Kuna. twisting and turning. Octo just running out of options. They had to bring the player down.
Most like he waited for that contact. Good experience there. You say experience again. Another 24-year-old reading the play. Harrison trying to get his wall over. They're just not listening to him, or they can't hear him. So the noise around the Bukit Jalil Stadium is going right up. Alfred Riedel not happy. He's walking onto the pitch. The fourth official trying to get him off. There's been a coming together and something happened off the ball here. And Harrison not happy at all. The linesman's seen it. No. Is it the lasers again? No, well, we don't want this. Harrison telling all the players to walk off. That is just not acceptable. All eyes are on Mohamed Muslim. Now, if there's something's happened off the ball here, he could find himself in real bother. All the players coming off the pitch. It is the lasers then, so that's fair. And they're just saying, look, we can't go on with this. And this decision should have been made early in the game. And it should have been dealt with by now. The official spotted it early doors. So goodness knows what's going to happen here. Well, you can see there Ahmad Bustami trying to calm down the Indonesian fans, and you can see there the referee Tomat Masaki just saying there to the Malaysian players, look, enough's enough, we can't deal with this anymore. And you can see they're just trying to ask the crowd to calm themselves down, and probably now making a mountain out of a molehill, because it should have been dealt with in the first 5 minutes of this match.
Absolutely, because that's the reason why Rajagopal can't.
They're just making the announcement now, Sassi, and telling the fans to stop it.
Yeah, well, you can see both sets of coaches just trying to talk to each other, saying it can be dangerous. But this can't be good for both players, because you've stopped play. Now both sets of players will cool down a bit, and when they start going, that's where all the injuries might come in. Let's not forget, it's been a long tournament as well. As we see all the dignitaries clearly not impressed. But the Malaysian fans, if they are doing it, they've only got themselves to blame. If the team gets hurt by this.
Exactly. And of course is the Sultan of Pahang just trying to sort this problem out. The announcement has been made, so we will have stoppage time, so there will be drama at the end of this match. That can be now guaranteed. Most sets of players going over to the bench. I think it's up to the officials and the marshals and also the police that do go to these games. I've been at the Bukit Jalil Stadium for some magnificent events. They're now firing fireworks into the middle of the pitch. Now, this is absolutely crazy, pathetic, and really not on. It has to be said. They do want the game to go ahead, but they have to adhere to the rules. And if there's a danger to any of the players, the referee has every right to pull the players off the pitch and just say, no, we're not having this.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's just ridiculous, because there's a fireworks just exploded on the field. That can't be good news.
You have to say, it can't be the Indonesian fans, because whenever the lasers were on, they were pointed at the Indonesian players. So it's clearly a Malaysian problem, or a Malaysian fan problem, that needs to be dealt with. So it looks as though we may try to get going again here.
Because I think Rajagopal is saying that it's coming from a different quarter of the fans, and he really doesn't know whether it is the Malaysian fans who are actually doing it. But I just really see no reason why an Indonesian fan should be pointing the laser at their own team.
Well, you wouldn't do it, would you? I mean, that's just common sense. And again, the announcement being made just need to be clamped down on. So we do need eagle eyes now in and around the running track, as you can see there, to look up and see who is doing this. These people need to be ejected. The Sultan of Pahang is being explained what is happening, what is going on. So they are trying to deal with this situation. The players clearly not happy, and quite rightly so. I'm sure you wouldn't if you were walking down the road like a laser pointed in your eyes.
Not at all.
Particularly the way and how powerful they are now. When you can buy them anywhere, and they're very, very strong, and you know they can cause retina damage. So unfortunately, the players are saying, well, you know, we refuse to carry on under these conditions. The biggest problem will be is in Indonesia, because if this has happened in Malaysia, will the Indonesian fans turn around and say, well, we're going to do exactly the same to you?
Well, that's a very, very interesting question, Mason. I must say that, because we know the history between these two sides.
Well, look, now the police are getting involved, and they have to be involved. And you can see there that the Sultan is quite clearly just informing the police, please, can you see who is doing this? We need to eject them from the ground. We need this problem to stop so that we can carry on the game. These are live scenes, if you're just joining us here on Star Sports, of the AFF Suzuki Cup. The game has been brought to an abrupt stop about 5 minutes into the second half, courtesy of some fans, some idiots, we have to stress that they are, by shining lasers in the players' eyes. It is a situation that the dignitaries and the officials from Malaysia are trying to deal with. And to be fair, Sassy, it's a shame, because this tournament has been played in such good ilk, and the way that the whole tournament has transpired has been quite phenomenal. I mean, who would have thought that a qualifier in the Philippines would have got through to the semi-finals? Who would have thought that Malaysia would have knocked out the reigning champions? And it's just a shame to see this happen now.
Yeah, absolute shame. I think football in this part of the world really needs to move forward, and it starts with the fans as well. And we really need to make sure that these sort of things is just really got rid of.
Eliminated from the game.
Exactly.
Well, it now looks as though Marcus Harrison is going back to his goal, which means we will have resumption of play.
Well, we just saw a fan there, but he's with his handicap, not a laser.
That's a handicap, not a laser, so he can stay in the ground. So the referee is now going to get us back underway. Harrison still furious with his defenders and wants them in position. This a pivotal moment in the game, because if quality comes here from Safik, anything could happen for Malaysia, particularly after that stoppage, and there will be a lot of talk after the game about this. He's pulled to the edge of the box. Great feet and a good turn and shot there from Amar, but blocked down. And Sarudin tries to clear his lines. There's 5 white shirts pouring forwards, and there's a real counter-attack on here. Gonzalez doesn't have the pace to get forwards, and that's good, solid defending again there from Malaysia. They needed to get bodies behind the goal and behind the ball, and they did on that occasion.
I tell you what, almost getting caught out there, Malaysia. They were too eager to go forward and just really forgot
a
their
real
defensive
mistake
duties.
there, and a chance here. No, Cheryl pulls it back, and it's a simple tap-in. It's all come from the mix-up of the lasers, and you can see Hamka trying to run the ball out of play, but Mohamed Safi becomes the hero of the hour.
Well, just a break, taking its toll here, in my opinion. Players, like I said, they calm down, they cool down a bit, and in the process, Hamka just gave the ball away. But Malaysia seem to be defending in 6s and 7, and all of a sudden they've got the lead here.
Well, after play was stopped for 6.5 minutes, we had the corner, well, the free kick at one end. Then Indonesia should have scored, but look at that woeful defending. It was, in fact, Maman who tried to be a little bit too clever. Great skill from Nur Sharul. Pulls it back to Mohamed Safi, who makes absolutely no mistake. But this is awful basic defending. What is he trying to do? Maman, who is 28 years old, should have more experience than that. Then Hamka goes to ground, and it just gives the Malaysians the first goal. And Malaysia, well, they're on cloud 9 at the moment.
Definitely got the advantage here, Malaysia, as we see it time and again. Poor defending. But Nur Sharul didn't really give up. He worked hard for it. And Shafi, he is a clinical finisher in front of goal, much to the delight of the bench. And Rajagopal, he must be thinking that the break actually has done them.
Well, that is what I have to say to you, Sass, because now we're going to have fallout galore because of that 6.5 minute stop, because of the stupidity of some of the fans. But Malaysia looking to break forwards again, and Nur Sharul almost getting on the end of that. Has that break, and if this was dealt with in the first 2 minutes, we wouldn't have had the break. So real problems for the officials to actually deal with after this game finishes now, because that has come indirectly from the 6.5 minute stoppage.
But having said that, Indonesia had a break on early on, right up to the start. If they had scored the goal, would have been a different story altogether.
But you know what Indonesia are going to say.
Yeah, of course. I mean, having said that, I think it affects both teams. So it just doesn't affect Indonesia.
Well, this is going to simmer along very, very nicely now, and you can see Munat has gone to ground. It looked as though he had his hand stamped on there. It was Mohamed Nassar that just went over the top and just caught him.
Well, I'm just thinking if Malaysia can do what they did against Vietnam by taking a 2-0 lead going into the second leg.
Even his Firmino what's there, just stamps on his hand, catches him, good ball, whipped in, Harrison drops it, goes to ground far too easily, and that's what we talk about when we talk about Harrison. And that shouldn't be, I mean, that should just be a ticking off. He's got every right to go for that ball, Sassy.
Well, this is where I really get upset, because every time a striker makes a challenge, the goalkeeper always gets an advantage. When you look at it over there, you don't really think there's a lot in it, and Marcus Harrison makes a meal out of it, and I'm not quite sure if the striker actually got booked.
I don't think so. I think it was just a ticking off, but Harrison always seems to have those stomach problems when he does drop the ball. He goes down clutching his stomach. There's big strong challenge from Octo. Now he needs to be careful because he's on a yellow card, and clearly now Toma Masaki, the Japanese official, has to really clamp down on this quickly, because there's a lot of resentment now. That's a strong challenge, both entitled to go for it. If anything, you have to say Mahali's foot was exactly the same. They're both going for it.
Exactly. If you got to dish out something, you must be able to receive as well. So on that instance,
we're in for an interesting last half hour here, Sass.
Well, I think it just makes it all a bit more interesting for those watching at home as well.
Well, I think for everyone, this, not the final anybody out there would have picked. No one would have thought that Malaysia would have got through the group, having been paired with Thailand and Indonesia. A lot of people said it's a developmental side. They're a side that are growing as kids, but they have outshone at the moment the Thais as they are pouring forwards. The Indonesians now trying to make something happen. That's going to be a goal kick.
Well, I don't see Alfred Riedel hanging on to this lineup for much longer. He will make a couple of changes, that's for sure.
Gonzalez has to come off, right? He's done literally nothing today. Looks as though Yonki's making his way to the bench. Who's it going to be who comes on? Irfan will get the nod. So the man who looked really good in the opening group encounters before getting that little niggle and little knock, he gets his opportunity to shine. Irfan backed him. 22-year-old now has the opportunity.
Very strong challenge.
It's brilliant. That's exactly what this game needs, and you can see the crowd are absolutely loving that, because going in strong but fair, that's not fair, but play allowed to continue, and Malaysia with an opportunity here. The challenge is flying in. Mohamed Safri gets a little 1-2, gets a return, and Harrison's messed it up, and it's headed wide. Well, drama again here at the Bukit Jalil Stadium. Mohamed Safri played a lovely little 1-2 with Noor Sharrell. Looked as though he got in. Harrison came out flapping again, and Indonesia just managed to clear their lines. What a little touch that is.
I'll tell you what, wonderful football between the two strikers. Just exchanging neat passes there.
I mean, Nasser it was who was back on the line, clearing his lines. Look at that.
I'll tell you what, missing the ball. Very unfortunate, because if it had been slightly lower, I truly believe Shafi had an opportunity to pull the trigger.
And the substitute, Sali, has gone down. He thought that he was clipped. Play allowed to continue. Good officiating again from the Japanese official, but Harrison again now showing that his confidence has shot to bits. 66 minutes gone. Safri with the ball into the near post. Good strong challenge, good strong header from both players. Here's Safri again. A couple of yards to play into. Kuna. Back to Safri. 3 or 4 blue shirts in the box. And the Malaysians want to keep this going. Keep this going forwards. Noor Sharrell. It's closed down quickly.
Well, I think this is where Malaysia need to push forward and try and get that second goal, because they've got the spring in the step.
Oh, great skill there, and a wonderful effort whipped in from Mohamed Safri, and as it was, coming in on the edge of the box was the substitute, Ashari. Well, Indonesia have gone to pot. There's no question about that. Malaysia now look as though they're on top. That came out of literally nothing. A wonderful bit of skill from Nur Shahril down on the byline. Exactly the same place where the mistakes were made by the Indonesian defence. It was a nothing ball across, but the 24-year-old Ashari scores his third international goal, pounced on the loose ball, and Malaysia, could they be the new champions?
Well, just before I finish my sentence about Malaysia scoring the second goal, Nur Shahril, wonderful footwork, gets past two defenders yet again. Number 3 puts it onto the path while he was trying to go for a shot there. The ball falling very, very kindly to the substitute Ashari, who makes no mistakes from inside the box. Have a look at that. A sea of white shirts, just passes the ball into the back of the net. It all started from the...
Absolutely brilliant.
Wonderful skills.
Takes him to the cleaners. Gets a little bit fortuitous there with the deflection, but nothing wrong with that shot. Picked his spot. Gone through a sea of white shirts, and Harrison no chance.
Well, to be fair, Paul, when Malaysia took that very surprise 2-0 lead against Vietnam, no one really expected that, and they've done the same thing again here at the Bukit Jalil Stadium against Indonesia, who I must say were the favourites coming into these finals.
So it's Fortress, Bukit Jalil at the moment. Dare they dream and go for another one, or will Indonesia make the changes? You feel Bambang has to come on now at some stage, has to, because if they get a goal, it's not all over. That much we do know, but it's not over yet for Malaysia. Nur Shahril with a little give and go. Nur Shahril, great feet, and it's just broken free there to Safiq, who shoots, and it's just wide. Well, you can see Harrison going absolutely ballistic at his players, asking everyone to calm down, but Malaysia are playing like men possessed at the moment. Unbelievable.
Well, I tell you what, Indonesia in the past have had a tendency to self-destruct, and at the moment they are on that mode because Malaysia seems to be better off. They seem to find the space inside the box, and the Indonesian defenders are just watching them get past them as though they're not there.
Well, someone somewhere has pushed that Indonesian button, because defensively this second period they have been all over the place. They've got nothing going forwards, and it's costing them dearly. This now a real test for them. We are going to see a change. Let's see who it's for just yet, though. It's Safi that's coming off, or
could be Octo that's actually
Octo, yeah.
Well, that might not be a bad call. I think he's lost his head ever since he's got the yellow card. He knows that he's not going to play in the return game in Indonesia.
As the change been made, it did look as though number 14 went up, so if that's the case, Akhir Pusingan will come on. I'll tell you something though, Cairo family has had very, very little to do today. Sassi, a good day's work for him in the office at the moment.
Yeah, he's never been really called on to put a save. Whereas it's been a different story for Marcus Harrison. But if Malaysia can go on and get the third goal and really put it beyond Indonesia, they will really do it in style as well.
Well, back there now, just sitting in front of his fullback was Kuna. That's a very good and important header. Suat with the ball forwards, nice little layoff. Real chance here for Indonesia, pulled just wide. Irfan with the link-up play, just laying it off, and it is the substitute there, the number 14, Akhir Pusingan, who got into a wonderful position and had a real chance there to add to his international tally of 3 goals, but pulls his shot just wide.
Very, very good link-up play between the both substitutes, Irfan Bakin. Just putting it onto the path of Akhir Pusingan, who should have at least hit the target and give Indonesia an opportunity to get back into this game.
But Malaysia still pouring forwards. Nur Shahril trying to make things happen. Kuna now with the ball wide. He's got his skipper just outside him. Safi elects just to keep possession. Clipped in dangerously. Free header! It's 3! Malaysia have taken a 3-0 lead against... Oh, sorry, Malaysia have taken a 3-0 lead against Indonesia. Safi with the header. Mohamed Safi, unmarked, self-destruct Indonesia, and Malaysia go marching on. This is unbelievable. No one would have predicted 3-0. This is getting embarrassing for the Indonesians.
Well, I'll tell you what, Malaysia are looking to return a favor. Let's not forget the last time these two teams met, it was 5-1 in favor of Indonesia. So who is to say that Malaysia can't go on and return the favor to Indonesia? But nevertheless, again, wonderful, wonderful piece of play by Malaysia. A ball put into a very, very good area. Look at the Indonesian backline. When Safi tries to attack it, the right back just follows the player, plays him on side.
Zulkifli just
Zulkifli, yeah, he was ball watching, caught napping there. But what a wonderful finish by one of the best strikers in the league so far.
That's a great ball in from the man that was brought into the starting lineup today, Mahali, with a great ball in. Mohamed Safi getting his fourth of the tournament. He now goes to the top of the goal scorers charts, and the Malaysians can hardly believe this. Indonesia really need to try and claw something back. That's poor, it has to be said. Flipped in there from Mohamed Ridwan. Well, it really hasn't been the Indonesians' day today.
Not at all, but I think it boils down to the tactical expertise of Rajagopal, who knew exactly what he needed to do and turn this game around. Because he's kept Christian Gonzalez very, very quiet. He's kept Otto very quiet so far, and even got substitutes as we see a fraction of Indonesian fans leaving already.
Could this be it? Is this going to be the game that wins it for Malaysia, or can Indonesia create something? Great ball threading through, and again, brave goalkeeping. Khairul Fahmi coming a long, long way there. Good keeping from the 21-year-old. 3 clean sheets in this tournament. The best young goalkeeper in Malaysia Cup for Kelantan throughout the last 12 months. Was brave there. Really came out well. And Arif, did he catch him? Not really.
But to be fair, I think the defender played a huge role as well. Fadli needed to make sure that he protected his goalkeeper. Kept running with Suyono.
The Tigers are roaring. Indonesia have never got into this game. 15 minutes plus stoppage time to play, and there will be a lengthy period of stoppage time at the end.
Well, I must say at half-time when Shebi said about Malaysia playing the long balls forward, not really working out for them, but they changed it in the second 45. I think so far the fashion they've scored the 3 goals, they kept it short. They had that 5-meter pass, and every time they do that, they look very, very deadly.
Safi showing some good footwork there, keeping possession. Play switch by Mohamed Muslim. Looking to the substitute, Asadi. Puts it back down and inside. Mohamed Safi now doing all the groundwork. Big smile from him, throwing the ball away. Congratulated by his teammates already. Still a long, long way to go here. At the end of this 90 minutes, we'll only be halfway through the competition. There's still another match to go. Safi, just though he just pulled something there when he switched the play. Did he get caught? There's Mohamed Safi being clipped by Zulkifli. It was well before that. And don't they look despondent now?
Well, Ayo Indonesia is the cry from the Indonesian fans. But at the moment, it's Malaysia Boleh.
Boleh. Malaysia to add to this. Mohamed Safi taking a long run up at this. Is he going for his hat-trick? Well, it's not the best strike that he's ever hit in his life. And Indonesia now will look to try and make something themselves. Very disappointing from them today. Zulkifli threads it wide. It's a nice ball out there as well. Mohamed Ridwan with the ball in. Gonzalez almost got to the ball, but Khairul Fahmi shows the experience of a 30-year-old keeper there, not a 21-year-old. Did ever so well to come and claim that at its highest point and pick it off the head of Gonzalez. So play not dead yet though.
That's what you need from a goalkeeper. You really influence the team, and especially the defenders in front of you, when you come out there and pluck up crosses. That really gives the defenders a lot of confidence.
Arif inside. Nice little turn there. Mohamed Nasser flips one forwards, headed away. Mohamed Muslim this time. Will not be taken that under control was Nasser, and he's going to give Kuna a chance to clear his lines. He looks just to tuck it up to Noor Sharo. A little step over from him. Confidence at an all-time high for this Malaysian side. No question about that as they're stroking this ball around. Azaruddin elects to go back. Fadil strokes one inside, and again confidence there from this Malaysian side. Kunat has dropped deep, pushes that ball forwards. Oh, a little nutmegs to boot as well. Great play there.
Talk about confidence within Malaysia.
And here they go again. A real opportunity. Patterson with the save. Mahali, the man that had been brought in, the right back, can play in midfield as well. That much we do know. He's gone on a good bursting run all the way down the right-hand side. Could have crossed the middle and fired it towards goal. And Harrison just managed to get his body in the way. But more pressure for Indonesia to deal with. You do feel that if they got four, that could be it.
I tell you what, this could have been a beauty. He's kicked past a couple of players. Perhaps the ball falling to his weaker left foot. Nevertheless, it was a great run into the box.
Safi with the ball in, right to that near post area, headed away from Firma Martina, but the shot not to boot. Saluddin leaving his shooting boots at home, winning his 16th cap tonight. Did score in the opening game against Indonesia, and the only problem was it was in the wrong end.
Well, it doesn't matter, does it, really? And you look at the way he's played tonight, and his teammates in Malaysia have really given a very good account of themselves. A very young side, let's not forget as well. A couple of players missing from that SEA Games goal-winning team.
It's just incredible when you look down at the ages of the players. The back four, 21, 21, 19, 22. The goalkeeper, 21. The middle of the park is where the experience is. 24, 23, 23, 24. Well, it's unbelievable. And here they come again. So the young guns looking to really create problems. So Kifli just helps that on to Noor Sharo. Noor Sharo looking to go past Kifli. Nice little tussle there. Sharo just having hold of the jersey. Indonesia wanting to get on with this as we enter the last 10 minutes. All fingers will point to that little spell just 10 or so minutes into the second half where we stopped because of the lasers, and that's a foul right on the edge of the box, and that's a dangerous position. And you can see Mohamed Muslim not happy with that. He's played ever so well. The pair of them, they're not a bad pairing, the kids, Mohamed Muslim and Mohamed Fadil. As we see the applause for Mohamed Safi, he is going to get a rest. And on is coming Mohamed Amriyaya.
Not a bad substitute to have on the bench, Amriyaya as well.
He's played his part throughout this tournament. And in his 16th cap tonight.
Muslim giving Indonesia an opportunity to get back here. And we know Christian Gonzalez can strike it from this sort of a distance.
Irfan's there as well, another one that can. Firminotina is another man that can strike from range, but it does look as though it is Gonzalez and Irfan over the ball. Are they going to go with power and pace, or are they going to go with guile? It's Gonzalez. Well, the crowd tell you everything you need to know.
Well, it just sums up his night, doesn't it? He was clearly the best player for Indonesia against Philippines, but tonight, I must say, the young defenders have done enough to stifle him.
That's not a kick. I mean, let's be honest, Sassi. Can you remember him picking the ball up, passing it? Can you remember him picking the ball up, running at somebody? It just has not been his day.
I think he's not put one shot on target at least tonight. And we saw Yonki do that in the first half, just before the end of the first half. That was his first shot of the 45 minutes. So credit must be given when it's due.
I have to say, no matter what, this is dramatic. It has been the best ever edition of this competition by a country mile, because no one has expected this. No one expected the Philippines to do what they did. And it really has shown that the gap in Southeast Asia is closing so quickly as Malaysia look to pour forwards and get another one. Kunat on the right-hand side. Cuts in onto his unfavoured left foot. Still Kunat. Closed down. In the end, just one too many from him. Indonesia now look to try and make something happen in these closing moments. That's a foul. Adesina being pulled back. Are you surprised, though, that we have not seen Bambang Pamungkas?
Yes, I was going to say that because
if you haven't talked about him before the game, about the one player that they would fear because he knows Malaysian football.
Yeah, if you're looking for goals, he's one player that you should really bring on. So I'm not quite sure the relationship between Alfred Riedel and Bambang Pamungkas, because in my opinion, he'd probably be the first player I'll bring on if I'm in search for goals.
You can hear quite clearly there, Khairul Fahmi trying to sort his ball out as that's whipped in dangerously, and not the most convincing from Khairul Fahmi, but did ever so well to pounce on that loose ball. Flag's gone up for offside anyway. Yes, no, yes, just...
Yeah, just two white shirts just straying offside.
The officials have actually gotten a lot right today. We remember the semi-final where we did Sassi, the Philippine game against Indonesia. There were a few decisions there that were marginal. They seem to have got them correct today as Malaysia win the ball back. Can they get one more? Great skill. That's got to be a yellow card. Play allowed to continue. Great skill there from Asadi, the man that scored the second.
Just when you're saying the officials got it correct, I think the referee really made a mess of that one. It was a great run, great footwork as well.
Well, it did look as though he was only taken out at the waist, which of course would be a free kick.
I was just going to ask if that's not a foul, if you're allowed to do that.
Nice ball clipped in, Hanif the target, the header from Mohamed Muslim. And again, how composed and comfortable did he look? Well, they tried to play on, and that's a shame, that is, because Mohamed Muslim fancied a little bit of a stroll upfield there.
Again, another strange decision by the referee. They had the advantage. He should have allowed play to go on.
But with 5 minutes to go, 3-0's up, you'd take that free kick every day of the week.
Yeah, you will take that, but the referee calling that free kick, I just can't believe that.
Yeah, because he has let one or two go, hasn't he, throughout this game? Well, that's a poor ball forwards from Mohamed Muslim. It's not going to bother him at all, and you can see behind the goal now, bare terraces where the Indonesians were sitting. A lot of them have left already. Stomi trying to keep possession. Firmanutina with the ball drilled forwards, and it would be a killer blow if Malaysia were to concede here. The away goal counting in this year's edition of the tournament, so a clean sheet would really, really help the Malaysians, because let's not forget, Indonesia did put 5 past them at the Bung Karno in the opening game of this tournament. Long range shot skips in towards Khairul Fahmi, but absolutely no problem for him. Adesina's looked like a bright spark since he's come on, and able to manufacture a real telling shot on goal.
I just believe that Alfred Riedel should have brought on Adesina as soon as Okto got his yellow card, because that would have made the difference for Indonesia. Unfortunately, the longer it went, the worse it became for Okto. Really didn't have an impact in this game at all.
Well, you're looking through the Indonesian side to say, is there any player who's had an impact on this game? Not today. This has been their poorest showing so far in this tournament. And when you consider that the last time these two sides met, it was 5-1. The time before that was a friendly in June 2008 in a competitive match where they drew 1-1. We're not seeing that today. We have seen Malaysia tear apart and tear the heart out of this Indonesian side. Are they going to bottle it again? That is the big question, because they're going to have 90 minutes after this to make amends. They are going to have to do something.
Well, I don't think so, because this is a young side. They don't fear anyone, and they just go out there and enjoy playing football. even though the Gelora Bung Karno Stadium will be a different proposition altogether, I really believe that this team will believe that they have enough of a lead. I mean, if they can do it against Vietnam at the Maidin Stadium,
the reigning champions, yep,
they
can do it over there. That is going to be something that you can catch live on Star Sports. A game on Wednesday. And it should be an absolute belter. Harley again with a little nutmeg. Not content now to nutmeg 2 or 3 people and run all the length of the pitch. Tries it again, and the flicks are starting to come out. Now this is where Malaysia need to concentrate, and they do need to be professional here. They want to get hold of the ball, they want to keep the ball, they don't want to concede. So I'm sure Roger Gopal is on the sideline going absolutely balmy at his players, saying, hey, we've got this lead, let's keep it, let's play proper football.
Because let's not forget, they've got still at least another 10 minutes of play.
Yeah, well, on top of that as well, when you consider they've still got another 90 minutes. So they would rather it 3-0 than 3-1 going to the Bung Karno on Wednesday. You're going to see another change very, very shortly for Malaysia. But not just yet, though. Great bursting run forwards. Was the contact? Well, if there was, it was minimal. Play allowed to continue from our Japanese official again.
Again, a superb run by the substitute Ashari, running at the heart of the defense. Indonesia not really coping with the footwork of Ashari.
It looks as though Sabri is coming on.
Well, when you look at the substitution, he took on Amirul Hadi and brought on the more experienced Ashari, who's a natural left footer, and put Puna on the right. That seems to be a wonderful tactical decision by Raja Gopal.
Another tactical decision here. The last few minutes, the man that was left out of the starting lineup comes back on, Sabri, for the man that replaced him, Mahali. So Mahali, who's done a fantastic job, but I think he's just going forwards a little bit too much for Roger Gopal's liking, which is why he's made the change in the last minute of the 90 here. Of course, we will have time added on if you're just joining us. Play was stopped for 6.5 minutes due to fans shining lasers into the eyes of the Indonesian side. So don't be surprised if you see a big number come up on the board very, very shortly, when the 4th official tells us exactly how much time we will have added on at the end of the 90. That's great play from Asari. He's just asking a little bit too much of Nur Sharil to chase down.
Well, the individual brilliance of Nur Sharil has made the difference for Malaysia, I must add. And the clinical finishing of Shafi.
Indonesia would look to nick one here late on and right at the death. Would give them the away goal, and like I said, don't be surprised, 8 minutes of time added on. Here is Irfan Bathim. Irfan keeps possession, so 8 minutes to be added on. Zulkifli looking to join the attack and creates a yard for himself. Zulkifli with the ball in and just balloons it over the top. And again, summing up Indonesia's night. They just have not got it right at all today, have they?
Not at all. I think the passing's been poor. They never find the range as well. And there's been a few players within the ranks of Indonesia who've really, really struggled tonight. And that's the reason why they haven't looked half the team they were in this competition.
Funny, long range ball forward, searching for his strikers, and again they end up picking up that loose ball. Safi, who's been immense there in the middle of the park, and here he is. Nur Sharil has been immense as well, breaking forwards on that occasion. You really have to look at the Malaysians, and you can't put your finger on anyone who's disappointed at all.
Well, they are a team. I mean, we spoke about that earlier in this, before the show.
Irfan getting clipped on that occasion. Bambang Pamungkas has come on. That change just been made totally under the radar. It's Gonzalez that's gone off, it looks like it. Bambang Pamungkas, who is of course the leading goal scorer and cap maker for Indonesia. 24 caps, 34 goals, knows how to hit the target from here. Irfan's over the ball, Hanka's there, Bambang is there. We saw Gonzalez fire one that was over the top. Poor effort from him. And here's Bambang, takes a deflection and goes over the top. And again, just to typify the look of Indonesia, it's hit a white shirt and gone over the top. But a poor free kick really by his standards.
Yeah, I mean, he's just gone up to the game, so he's not really warmed up properly. A little bit of a surprise that he was even allowed to take this free kick.
You just wonder what attitude and how are Indonesia going to adapt in this second game in 3 days' time. They have been comprehensively punished here by a very young, inexperienced Malaysian side that have grown throughout this tournament and have really looked good in today's game. Masarudin with a long ball forwards, looking for Nur Sharul, and it comes in from Maman.
Well, if they can stay as a unit again in Indonesia, that will be the telling factor, because if they start chasing the game, trying to score the goal away from home, they will really suffer. But
well, they've just got to do what they did against Vietnam, haven't they? Just
exactly, go out there,
shut up shop and say, go on then, you've got to score 3 goals
to be fair, at the Maidin Stadium they've parked the yellow bus. I think we spoke about this many times, but very effective nevertheless. So this could be a similar.
It could be. There's no Sharul again, who's caused all sorts of problems. All the divots down there that you can see were caused from him, making the defenders look foolish. As we see a firecracker thrown off the field of play by Sabri. They'll just keep it there now, but they're going to have to keep it there for 4 minutes, which is a bit long. But Nur Sharul manages to jink past another couple of challenges yet again, you know, and really has shown that he's a quality player. Indonesia, well, taking one too many touches. Kuna goes past the keeper's had a penalty. Nur Sharul fires over the top. He's given a goal kick. Is it a goal kick? I think he has given, because Kuna closed down that ball, nearly won it back, and caused all sorts of problems. Bambang trying to get his players away. Has the penalty been given? That is the big question. Harrison is down. Nur Sharul is down. Here's Kuna. Look, he just skips past the challenge. Is he caught? No, he's on his way down there, so that's probably the right decision, Sassi.
Yeah, I think so, because have a look at this.
He was that's reckless, though. That is
very reckless. But to be fair,
he
won the ball. If only Kuna just managed to nip the ball away from Marcus Harrison, I believe it would have been a penalty, because he dived at his feet. So
that's a very, very good save from Harrison then. Nur Sharul
got not good news for Malaysia, because one of their top players just limping.
It's 5 minutes into stoppage time, and I think that it'll actually be all right. Basically, you know what it's like, Sassy. Professionalism. You can't just get up and sprint back off. You've just got to try and slow the game down, and that's exactly what he's done there, even though Harrison is doing exactly the same.
Well, Marcus Harrison, if he's injured, they've got Kurnia Hermansyah.
But they'll have to use him in the next game, because, of course, they've used all 3 substitutes today, the last one being Bambang.
Yep.
So that might be a blessing in disguise for them. I do know that he is partial to the drop ball and the rush of blood to the head. There is, of course, 2 minutes left here, and we will probably have another 2 minutes added on at the end of that. So synopsis of 10 minutes when it was 89 on the clock could be just about spot on, Sassy. Come on, can Indonesia do it in the second leg? Because they're not going to do it here. We know that.
Well, against a very, very stubborn Malaysian side, the only reason why I say that is because they went away. They convinced me in Vietnam at the Maidin Stadium. Not an easy place to go out there and shut shop, but they managed to do that.
Firecrackers are going off. Is it Malaysia's name on the cup, or can Indonesia get a little bit of hope here by pulling one back?
Well, I'll tell you what, if they can keep it this way in Jakarta as well, what a couple of years it's been for Malaysian football.
Off from the doldrums to the dizzy heights of winning the Southeast Asian Championships. It could be there for them as a shot comes in and goes just wide. Bambang creating the yard for himself to pull the trigger, going just wide. Just just can't believe that he was brought on with, what, just a couple of minutes to go in the match. You've just got to ask the question, was that the right decision? Or should he have been brought on at half-time or 10 minutes into the second half to add that spearhead going forward?
Exactly. Again, Alfred Riedel, like I said at the start of the game, Alfred Riedel is a coach who's been in this situation many times but never actually won this. In 1998, when we won it against Vietnam, he was the coach then.
Long ball hoisted forwards. As the control and bring down from Arif Siano. Jinks inside. Keeps possession. Just trying to probe for that opening. Oh, is that contact? There is on the edge. There's confirmation of the substitution that happened a little while ago. So the Malaysian camera crew and the Malaysian producer a little bit slow in putting that one up for us. And there's confirmation that it's happened. But this, a real threatening position now, upended again. Is Arif Siano, who's looked absolutely like a bright spark since he's come on.
Yeah, to be fair, I think Kunal's a little bit tired. A lot of tired legs within the Malaysian ranks.
It's Firman Utina. Great defending, and of course it's the skipper Safi that heads it clear. And he's the first to close down as well. Oh, there's a little bit of a mistake there. And there's going to be an Indonesian throw. We're now at 9 minutes. Very little time left for Indonesia to make anything happen. Can they get one last ball into the box to try and cause a problem? Mana gets caught in possession. Hamka, and that's going to be it. There is the full-time whistle, and it's been a real comprehensive display from Malaysia. Absolutely brilliant throughout that second half. The talking point will be the 6.5-minute stop that we had because of the lasers being shone into the eyes of the Indonesian players. But Sassi, overall, fair for you?
Yeah, I think so. Malaysia really had a spell there where they went on and they made a difference. A couple of individual brilliant performances, but overall, I think Malaysia really deserved it.
Mohamed Safi with a brace. Ashari came on as a sub and scored as well. Indonesia find themselves 3 goals down. We're going for a break. More from the studio after this.